What up? Howdy, people. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes while I get comfortable. I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to hop on because I did email this out and post about this. I kind of, in retrospect, wish I had said 6 p.m. because I probably need, I might need air. Yeah, 6 p.m. because I probably would have gotten a few more people on it, but happy to have whoever shows up. Happy also that it is warm enough that I need my windows cracked so I don't get too hot in here, which is fun. Went on a nice walk today and it was weird, very March, to be wearing short sleeves and also seeing piles of snow. It's kind of a fun little juxtaposition. Anyway, just open the car and shut it so it turns off. Good. So I'm going to give people a few seconds here to hop on in case people are trying to join us. And today what we're talking about is what I call my healthy aging checklist, but also more to talk about why most workouts geared towards older adults and older, I don't know. I mean, everybody gets all funny when you say the word older. Look, I'm not necessarily talking about 80-year-olds or 90-year-olds, but I'm talking about anybody over 40 who, look, the reality is, like, in a non-pessimistic way, in a honoring our bodies as we age, when we hit about 35 to 40 years old, we've reached our peak potential. And everything after that becomes a new focus. And the new focus is maintaining that as long as humanly possible so that our quality of life is as high as humanly possible. And so the over the hill concept was kind of dumb because it's sort of, that was like the 80s thing with, my parents. That was big. Like they had over the hill parties and whatever. It's like, you're on this decline. Well, to some extent, yes, our bodies are on this decline once you hit 35 to 40, but we also know that people stay really strong and healthy late into life if they maintain it and do the right things. So I want to talk about what the right things are today because you got a lot of control over, you have an awful lot of control over a lot of it. You don't have control over congenital health problems. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but a lot of them you don't. You don't have control over getting cancer. You don't have control over getting hit by a car, but you have a lot of control over your diet, your lifestyle, your strength, your mobility, your vibrance, your youthfulness. In terms of, I got clients who are youthful in their 60s and 70s, and they travel and they have fun. I certainly know people. We all know people who are 70 and they act like they're ancient. I remember it was funny. My first job was not a paid job. It was an internship at a retirement center. What was it called? Villa Maria. It was actually a hospice and a retirement center. It's where my grandmother died. Um, and I would clean air conditioning units out in the rooms. And I remember one guy, he sat there and he bemoaned his age, and he told me how old he was. He's so old, and I'll understand when I'm his age. And he was moping around with his slippers on, and I asked him how old he was, and he said like 76 or something. And I just like laughed inside because my grandfather at the time was probably well into his 80s, probably 88 to 90. Think he died, he was 92 or 93, and was still really vibrant. And I was like, oh wow, you're 76. So look, we all know age is a mindset as much as anything, but the reason we need to start thinking about what healthy aging looks like and what we want it to look like is because if you don't start planning and working on it now, then it's just going to get harder by the year. It is not to say if you're 66 right now, you should despair. No, there is always, because I've seen it, I've been doing this 12 years, thousands of people, there is always room for growth. We have a client named Tony who joined last fall. I forget what he's dropped, about 12 pounds. He says all his muscles are getting harder. He's moving. He's consistent. He comes 3 days a week. Like he's getting so much healthier. And he's in his 70s. So there is no too late. But if you happen to be lucky enough in your 40s and your 50s and you're thinking about it now, it's a great time because it will be easier because you won't be trying to regain as much. Anyway, let's get to the point. So I think I've given enough people time to hop on this conversation. And I would love if you have questions that come up, just let me know. Jesus. Uh, so Just got a text. So let's talk about why workouts. We're going to go in a certain order. I'm going to talk about why workouts don't work for the workouts that are geared to people over 50, why they usually fail. We're going to talk about what I would say is um, appropriate workout goals and things you ought to be integrating into your life. Some of these, a lot of these we do at 39-minute workout. And so my clients who are listening, yes, we are doing most of this. Some of these I would encourage you to do outside of the place and you'll understand why. And then we'll end with sort of a healthy aging checklist, which is just a fun little, I need to find the old, I had a little meme picture, whatever, with a bunch of bullet points. It was pretty in depth. I put a lot of thought into it. It was from a year or two ago. I need to, sorry, trucks keep passing. I need to find that and post that. If I find it, I'll post it on this post below, and you can see what I think is a great, really well-rounded, healthy aging checklist. So let's get into why workouts geared towards over 50 suck. It's so disappointing to me that there is what I know about aging adults, 50s to 70s, 40s to 70s, whatever it is, 80s, there's is that you are way more capable of badass stuff in the gym and in life than society acknowledges. And that's the biggest thing I can promise you. Whether you believe that or not, I promise you. Um, there's this, if you've read my post, it's like this is my mindset around this. We spend all this effort into raising children, right? I mean, I remember my kids. They turn over and then they start to stand up and hold on to things and then they crawl and then they stand hold on to things and then they walk and then it's like climbing things and hanging from monkey bars and maybe, you know, going monkey bar to monkey bar and they're learning to bike and they're learning to jump off a diving board and they're learning to fall and they're learning to throw balls and catch and run and all these things. And then it's like this obvious thing. They're learning language, communication, sharing, all these incredible things for life. And it hit me a couple of years ago, like, so what? So we get to 40, 50, 60, and we go, I've graduated. I now no longer need to stress and train my system. I mean, if that's your mentality, then you can't expect a hell of a lot out of your body as you're getting older, can you? I mean, and I say that because I think most people, that's how they're approaching aging. It's like, well, I'm 65 now, so those things are all behind me. And look, some things are probably behind you. I remember I used to jump off a cliff at Beaver Dam in Hunt Valley. I don't know when I'm 65 if I want to do that. I know I used to mountain bike and do incredible jumps and stuff on that thing. Probably need to age out of that stuff, but being able to play with your grandchildren, being able to say, "Hey, partner, wife, husband, let's go do this awesome trip we've always wanted to, hiking across you know, England." Um, I think all of those things you need if you want to be able to have fun and live a rich, awesome, you know, later years, let's call it, then having some serious goals and working towards things, just as you did when you were 5 years old trying to develop new skills, I think you should always be trying to get stronger and develop new skills. While, yes, the peak of your strength possibility is probably in your mid 30s, maybe 40s, a lot of you, if you put serious work to it right now, sorry, are people are like texting me. Um, that just completely threw me. I wish I didn't. I don't know. My neighbors asked me something. I thought. Anyway, I don't know where I was going with that. Sorry, if you're listening, maybe you can tell me where I just dropped off. But all right. So here's why workouts suck towards people over 50. Because most of the time, here's what happens. Um, I said this in the post. If you don't know only plan to lift 5 pounds, then training with 5 pounds makes no sense. And I guarantee you, the first thing I said, if I went into the mall and I said, "Hey, I'm polling people over 50 and 60, what's an appropriate weight to be lifting?" They'd say nothing. They would say nothing over 10 pounds. And as I said in my post, 5 or 10 pounds is a completely appropriate training weight if you never plan to pick up more than 5 or 10 pounds. So that means your grandchild can't be more than 5 pounds. Mine all came out heavier than that. Your luggage can't be over 5 pounds. Um, your body can't like you can't be expected to like climb steps with a backpack on or go on a hike or dude, there's virtually nothing that's 5 pounds. 5 pounds is nothing. This whole idea that aging adults should lift 5 pounds is frankly insulting. I think if you're 50 or 60 and you go to a training program and that's what they say the right weight is, it's kind of insulting. Um, Everybody's mentality I work with over 50, 60, 70 years old, their concept of how strong they are and how strong they're capable of being are the camera doesn't go far enough, wide apart, wide apart. Okay. Um, so one numero uno problem with programs geared towards aging adults is you can't get stronger lifting 5 pounds. Number two, lack of balance work. A lot of clients resist balance work. I'll have people do one-legged stuff in class and they go, my balance sucks. And I always say it to them, you can't train balance without training balance. So you've got to get on one foot to work on balance. And there's incredible value in that. There's incredible value for that for my 13-year-old baseball players, but also for my 65-year-old clients who don't want all of this is about preparing your body for having fun and not being nervous about it and not falling, not falling, right? Balance, such a key to not falling down the road. Practice it now, get good at it now, give yourself a month to get better balance now, then maintain it with consistency, it will not be an issue. All right, number three, range of motion. Machines, for the most part, suck. I know there's this perception that machines are my least favorite word. What's my least? Safe. Lightweights are safe. Machines are safe. What isn't safe is moving incorrectly. How the hell weight got linked to unsafety, lack of safety is beyond me. And you should be skeptical of that too. Machines are not safer, and I'll tell you why later. But if you don't train full range of motion, and I'm talking like arm, like all the way down to your shoulder, all the way to lockout, straight up overhead, getting that arm straight up overhead without having mobility problems, being able to sit at least down to a chair, full range of motion. And a machine, very few machines replicate actual human movement. What's up? Why? Natalie wants you to hurt. What? Okay. I guess so. I'm doing a talk that's supposed to go on YouTube, and now I'm talking to you, and that's a bummer. Okay. It's my kid interrupting me. Um, there's all right, next principle. There's no principle of increase with most people's workouts geared towards aging adults. There's no concept about increase. So it's sort of like we start off with these safe weights. You think about group fitness classes or swimming aerobics classes or machines. Most of the time it's kind of like, let's lift this. Okay, now we're good. Well, if there's no sense of increase and um, like bringing back the strength that you have lost through the years, then there's not going to be any long-term progress. And the problem is, if people don't see it, they don't stick with it. I promise you that if you go to a gym and you don't see actual change, like the plates get higher, the bells get heavier, the weight you moves up, and probably some physical transformation too, like you lost inches, you look better in a mirror, you fit better in clothes, you dropped clothing sizes, you've lost pounds, you're not going to continue. Very, very, very few people in this world are willing to be disciplined without evidence for very long. So when your workout isn't geared towards increase, steady increase, and this is, by the way, the role of a trainer. If you don't have the confidence to do this yourself, then you're going to flatline, you're going to get bored, you're not going to stick with it. Consistency is the biggest problem. And the last piece, and this is true of every age, but especially aging adults, it's all cardio. Everything seems to be based on cardio. All of the at-home stuff that got pitched so much the last 2 years since COVID is mostly it's cardio based, right? Get on a bike, do this and that, and they'll say we do strength class, folks. Bullshit weights with the bullcrap moves that are done on these workouts at home are they are not they're what I just said. Lack of First of all, it's a set amount of weights, it's too lightweight, it's not full range of motion, it's goofy movements, it's not how the fitness models on the TV for that thing actually got to that body shape. That's always where you should be skeptical. Okay, let's talk about how to build a program that really makes sense and what is really going to advance you as you are an aging adult. Number one, you've got to work full range of motion. I would like you to learn how to do a healthy hip hinge, squat, press, and row. All four of those movements need to be in your workout. Full range of motion, definitely. When you were 17, especially if you were a man, you probably worked on your beach muscles, which everybody considers to be their biceps, okay? That is fine for a teenage boy or girl to work on those to just make your muscles look prettier. When you're over 40, homie, I got time for that. It's all about function, 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 function. Now, I don't mind if you get a little what we call hypertrophy, a little muscle building on an arm to just keep it firm, because a lot of people do want that tone and there's value in that. But full range of motion is king. And I'm talking real squats, at least sitting down to a chair. Everybody, I can't do squats. If you don't plan to fall, to just drop and fall down into chairs the rest of your life, or you plan to climb steps, you have to train squats. You have to press up overhead. You have to press in front of you. When you get in this mind, most of the time people are scared of full range of motion. It's because they've been brainwashed to think that is dangerous. And always remember, lacking strength and lacking range of motion is dangerous. Moving heavy weight is not dangerous. Moving heavyweight with crappy form and poor range of motion is dangerous. We have to build in range of motion. If you want to be like the Tin Man, a poorly oiled machine, you know what that's going to be like. That's going to be, it's hard to get out of bed. Your joints don't want to move. You go to do things. It feels like you're going to strain yourself. You pick up a child, you pick up luggage. It feels like too much. Lack of strength, lack of pliability. We've got to build those things in there. So, how do we do it? Full range of motion. Number two, balance work. I want you up on one leg. I want you with bare feet once in a while. I want you walking on uneven terrain. This is the outside of the gym stuff. I would love every aging adult to be out hiking in the woods, not on a flat path, unless you have a medical reason not to. I hiked the entire Appalachian Trail. You know what will make you feel a lot safer? Get some hiking poles. They are wonderful. They incorporate more upper body, they elevate heart rate, and they add stability for your knees going downhill. Because I'll tell you, even at 26, when I hiked AT, going downhill is what's hardest on the knees. So you can use your arms to help play a role in that. But being on uneven surfaces is phenomenal balance training. You want to feel confident at 78 years old in the kitchen, moving around and not falling and breaking your hip? Start walking on uneven surfaces now. Start going on hikes. It doesn't need to be giant mountains. It can just be uneven trails, but something where you're going to have, undulating side to side, up and down, and you can make this as hard or as easy as you want. There's trails. I'd go to Annapolis Rock on the AT and go hike up there if you want to try something really hilly, really challenging. There's easy stuff right around. Well, Patapsco's actually got a lot of steep stuff. I got to think about ideas, but there's easier and harder hikes out there. But get on uneven terrain. Okay, but balance work on one leg. I'd have to do this in a video, but there's one-legged rows. There's value in just standing up tall, grabbing a weight, shoving your hips back, and just keeping your spine straight and just balancing on one foot. Incredible value in that. You're building ankle stability, you're building knee stability, you're building trust. You're close to the ground, so if you did slip, you could take that other foot and put it down. There's a lot of value in building that stability because you will have confidence when you do something. Because guess what? Everything is fine. Everything is fine until something goes wrong. Oh, my parents had friends over, and I think the dishwasher door was down, and she tripped and fell back over the thing and basically broke the door. Now, everything was fine with her balance until she tripped. Every stuff happens, right? So you don't want to train for a sunny day. You want to train for a rainy day. There will be a time in your life, and this is when your mother fell and broke her hip. Not I mean, I don't know your mother, but it's when something happened that they weren't ready for. They were walking on carpet and caught their foot, right? They were walking in a room and tripped on something they didn't see. We're all good until something goes awry, but when you work on balance, you have more balance. when you lift weights, you have more resiliency. When you lift weights in a full range of motion, like we do what we call kettlebell front squats, we hold two kettlebells in front and we squat, we sit down like we're sitting to a chair. You're toughening up your body, building this buffer of muscle that even if you fell, you know how to get tight. So guess what? If you learn how to swing a kettlebell and squat a kettlebell, inherently without me saying to you, hey, Carol, I want you, when you fall, I want you to get tight. Well, you could do that one of two ways. You could practice falling and getting tight, which will bump and bruise you and probably eventually hurt you. Or you could swing and squat and press kettlebells, which forces your entire body to tighten up. And then you fall, and your body reflexively knows, get tight, because you've trained your body what it's like to get tight. Guess who doesn't know how to get tight? The person who never works out except for some cardio machines. They've never learned how to get tight or be on balance or deal with instability. And so when something bad goes awry, which it will. We have all gotten off balance or heads. They don't know how to do it because it's not their body. When my clients swing a kettlebell, squat a kettlebell, stand on a BOSU, if you don't know what it is, it's okay. It's an unbalanced thing. Then something goes awry, you are so much more prepared than everybody else. I want to see balance issue is one of my issues. Are balance issues lack of strength, leg strength, foot strength? Yes, I would say, Carol, to some extent balance issues are a lack of strength, but not usually in just the big muscles, but also the little stabilizers. So all of your joints have little, like your shoulder and your hip and your core is a stabilizer, and your ankles, they all have little stabilizer muscles. This is why we're doing some of these banded things for rotator cuff. Those are like little stabilizer muscles. So the big muscles are like my pressing muscles, right? That's my big delt and my tricep, but there's stabilizing muscles in the shoulder joint called a rotator cuff and other stuff that I'm not going to go into because it's not important, that really just brace and hold the joint in place. Well, we get that by things like Turkish get-ups, which we're going to do a workshop on next week, which overhead walks where I have a truck, I can't pull my, but overhead walks where the arm is locked out straight overhead with a bell in hand and you're not actually pressing it, you're just holding it straight. That's stabilizing. One-legged rows. Um, yeah, any of that stuff where you're having to like fight and you're feeling your body, oh God, I'm like a crashing airplane. Well, guess what? You feel off balance. What's happening is all the little stabilizers are getting stronger. So yes, we want to work the big muscles in squat, press, row, and hip hinge, those four movements. But we also want to work the stabilizers with things like everybody from class, rack march or overhead walks, suitcase carries, one-legged rows. And if you don't know our program, that's fine. Those are all words you should learn and should be training. But when you're doing all those moves, they're not for the big muscles, they're for the little stabilizers. And you got to train both, especially as you get older. When you're young and we used to play, throw balls, kick, climb, the stabilizers, the big ones, they're all getting trained. I don't really need to tell my kids who are out in the backyard right now playing, hey, go train your stabilizers. No, they're jumping out of trees, they're climbing things, they're doing pull ups, they're playing sports. Their stabilizers are good. If you're 60, your stabilizers are not there. They haven't been asked to do anything. And so we got to add weight and we got to do stability. So, all right. All right. Balance work, walk on uneven terrain. Res- Progressive resistance. Such an important concept. I don't necessarily need you to understand what progressive resistance means, but because you should work with a trainer who knows what the heck they're doing. But here's the deal. I said this to a client yesterday. You walk into a gym, and on day one, you're swinging a 22-pound kettlebell and pressing somewhere from 10 to 15 pounds overhead. And if you are shocked by those numbers, don't be, because normal, everyday people do that in my program every single week. And I'm talking people who haven't been in a gym in decades. Okay. By month one, that person's probably swinging 26 to 35 pounds. By month six, they're probably swinging 35 to 53 pounds. Progressive resistance, you should slowly be challenging your body to morph and change. Row more, press more, squat more, swing more as you move up in weights. And by the way, this goes real fast at first, slowly and more methodically eventually. My long-term clients will probably find everything gets stronger for the first 1 to 3 months, probably about 3 months. And then they probably go stuck for a while. And then they won't be able to get their squat, press, row, and hinge stronger all at once. They'll have to go, I'm going to really focus on my pressing. I'm going to really focus on getting my swing heavier because now you're doing progressive resistance like a move or two at a time. And this is smart training for the rest of your life. And it's crazy because if a trainer who knows what they're doing is guiding this process, teaching good form, helping you around pain, helping you around your body's movement problems, you'll be so freaking strong and balanced and healthy 6 months, 1 year, two, that seriously, people your age just couldn't, you'll run circles around them realistically. You won't even notice, but you'll go to do something and your friend will see you and go, clients report this stuff to me all the time. My friend saw me do X, Y, and Z and went, holy crap, I can't believe you just did that. And they're like, I do this stuff on a daily basis at 39-minute workout because they're doing progressive resistance without realizing it. They're working on different aspects of their strength all at different times, and they don't remember day one when a 10-pound kettlebell felt hard to press overhead. Now they're using 22. The freaking fact that a 60-some-year-old woman goes from 10 pounds to 22 pounds is huge. What do you think's happening there? You can't do that without adding muscle. Everybody over 40 should add muscle because I guarantee you don't have enough for your health, and adding bone density or at least maintaining it. Any woman listening to this, you want bone density long into life? Resistance training, period. Resistance training. You will not get this from cardio alone. I, Joggers, runners might have it in their legs, but nothing's happening above the belt. Nothing. You are not building bone density unless you are fighting, resisting, straining against weights. Now, I know some of you might be going, David, people didn't lift weights until recently. Bullshit. They carried water. They worked farms. They chopped. They invested more energy in collecting and cooking food than we ever have. They lifted weights by a function of living. We have to manufacture it because we don't have manual labor jobs and we don't get our own food. One of the most interesting thoughts, I basically just said it, but that I heard in the last year was somebody said, we used to have to invest so much more into getting our food and preparing it. So imagine why it's so easy to get over fat now. With zero physical output, I could sit at home and consume 4,000 calories a day, doing virtually nothing. Never in human history has so many calories been available for so little work. So your option is to fabricate, replicate what a human body is supposed to be going through. And I guarantee you, if you went to rural India right now, you wouldn't see elderly people jogging. You would see them, I don't know exactly what you'd be doing, but if you went to different parts of the world, you would see them carrying heavy things, preparing using things using upper body strength, walking, climbing hills, walking with weight on them, maybe food, maybe water. And obviously, I'm talking about more primitive areas in the world, but this is happening for much of the human population. But right here in America, not many people are living like that. So you've got to replicate it. Okay. So increase your swing to 50 to 23 pounds, working on standing presses 22. Yeah, standing presses of 22 is an exceptional weight. Absolutely. You turn 53 and you're swinging to 53 is huge. That puts you in like elite status in terms of where women your age are. Period. 53-pound kettlebell, elite status. I hope you realize how badass you guys are that have been doing this program. Like, seriously, that is a lot of freaking weight. I tell people who are beginners, who are like 40 years old, you're going to swing at 22, and their jaws drop, and you're swinging at 53. Like, that's progressive resistance at its best. Okay, bridge the gaps. Okay, what most people do when they're training on their own is they train what they like and they don't do what they don't like. So this is dudes who have big, strong upper body with bird legs and a fat stomach. Women, where are women strong? Women, most of the time, not every woman. I have some women who walk in and are just naturally upper body strong. Most women walk in and their legs are strong and capable and will change like that. They love core work and they hate upper body because it's hard. Most men enjoy upper body and will skip leg day, right? And not do cardio. It, so we got to work on those imbalances. This is why you have a trainer and you don't wing it in a gym, because everybody, and this is me included, you know what I skip every freaking week? Because I work out on my own. God bless America. I have to tell myself every time my back gets overly tight, David, you know what you freaking skipped because you didn't want to do at the end of the workout? Your core. Your core. Yes, I'll tell you in other comp talks that core work is done with swings and squats and press. Yes, but when I do Bosu crunches or ab wheel and planks, my back is good. When I leave it alone, my belly distends and my back is not. It's tired. It's the stupidest thing. We always avoid the thing we don't want to do. So those imbalances have to be bridged in a good smart training program. The second thing is left to right. If you don't lift weights, free weights, dumbbells or kettlebells, I guarantee you have big fat problems between your one side and your other. Chances are your dominant hand side is way stronger. This is a problem. All right. This is like thoroughbreds who only turn left. Okay. If you do everything on your right dominated side all the time, your right arm is getting so much stronger than your left arm. Your left core is getting strong because when you're picking everything up on one side, the opposite core is always firing. You are, I guarantee you, rotated, crooked, twisted, turn like it's not good. This is why we need chiropractors and PTs and all this stuff to fix these things. Now, sometimes we need those things anyway. I will definitely see practitioners multiple times throughout the year when little things flare up, but they're little things. When you don't train left and right imbalances with kettlebells, pressing with your left arm only, pressing with your right arm only, one at a time, making our sides have to work unilaterally. Again, we talked about stabilizers. This is another piece. If all I ever do is sit in a machine and I go like this with my pressing, you will never notice that your dominant arm's actually doing 70%, the other arm's dragging along with 30. You don't notice that because the thing is moving up and down. But if all of a sudden you take two kettlebells and you press and it's like that, it's because the one side is so much stronger than the other. And that has got to be fixed because that's got injury written all over it. Okay. What else? Consistency. Now here's the biggest problem with aging. This is the sad, cruel reality, and this is probably where the problems of aging adults sticks out more than young people. Number one is muscle. I should have talked about muscle a little bit more, but number two is consistency. I could train my kids for three straight months, and we could completely blow it and skip a month and come back, and in workout or two, they'd be back to where they were. Literally, maybe a week, they'd be back to where they were. Aging adults, consistency is everything. And I mean, anybody over 40, you lose it faster, you gain it slower. Okay. It is consistency is such a bigger problem or necessity as you get older. You will lose it faster, you will gain it slower. So I care more about consistency, honestly, than intensity because I'd rather this progressive resistance take care of itself over time than going guns a blazing and quit because you tweak yourself. Okay. Um, pain. I've done entire talks on pain. Pain is like if every person in their own discipline and in whatever discipline you know in the world, like Randy runs a theater, Dawn runs a hotel, I don't Carol runs an office at a school. You all probably have one thing that gets under your craw about your field. Mine is pain. I am an acupuncturist and a kettlebell trainer, and I cannot tell you how much I hate the way modern doctors are probably the worst offenders of this, but just society in general views pain. I cannot freaking stand it. And sometimes it's my own damn colleagues who are telling people, oh, this thing hurt, quit. Oh. Animal world, dog has a hurt leg and they sat and waited for it to rest, a wild dog, it would die. It is not normal in any animal ever to sit on one's ass to heal because that is death. You are not getting food. You are not getting movement. You are losing vitality. You are getting poor quality of sleep. You are getting less nutrition. Your mood is bad. Okay, I'm talking more human now than animal, but you get the point. Only in modern day human do we think I got boo boo, I stopped moving. Crazy town. And it is. If you all have a thing that gets in your craw about your specific field, this is mine. You want to see David turn red and all you got to do is have a doctor tell my client that they shouldn't work out because they have XY, this problem. So I had a great example. I had a client who had been a client for probably 5 years. He had come to me after a heart attack. He had lost about 88, 90 pounds with us. Mind you, he had a heart attack before he joined. 90 pounds with us. He then started to also do boxing. Cool. I thought maybe that wasn't the greatest thing in the world post 60, 70 years old, but he started boxing. He liked it. Had a little tear in his rotator cuff. What do you think the doctor says? Stop doing kettlebells. Well, that's freaking brilliant. Stop doing the thing that you've successfully lost 90 pounds on, have post heart attack, haven't had a single heart incident since then. You're consistent with it. You've stuck with it. You've gotten incredibly stronger, and now you have a thing. Now, rotator cuff is a problem. It probably needs surgery most of the time. Sometimes PT could handle it. Depends on how severe. If I had talked to that client, what I would have said is, we're not going to use your arms. We're gonna give you X amount of time to just get the surgery and heal, and then you're going to come back and you're going to start doing leg and core work and cardio that you can do. And then when your PT clears you, we're going to start doing very light upper body movements that don't disagree with that shoulder joint. And then in time, we're going to incorporate stability in that joint. And then when you're doing that without pain or improve range of motion, we're going to add back light, easy varieties of the thing that is the most likely to be bugged by the injury. That's called a plan. That's intelligent. That's what every one of you should be doing when you have a tweak and a pain. Guess what? If you're a human who's over the age of 40, shit happens. You're going to be dealing with injuries. You're going to be dealing with tweaks and pains. If you run and sit on your butt every time it happens, you are going to be an out of shape person who has no confidence in your body in 10 years, period. And I can't stand that practitioners um, are telling people to do this. I can't stand that this is the mentality. Am I saying if you blow your back out to go do deadlifts? Nope. That's stupid. Am I saying to sit on your butt from now until the end of time because you should always fear your spine the rest of your life? Nope. That's crazy. They're both stupid. A smart trainer knows how to work through this, period. So changing your mindset around pain is an imperative because you are not going to be an aging body moving without problems here and there. It is just a reality of having this human body that is not perfect. It's like saying my car needed new tires, so I'm sorry I had to put it up on blocks. She's done because my car needed tires. It's freaking insane. That's the way we think. But yeah, all right, I gotta stop getting so hot. The only piece I missed, and it was it's kind of part of everything, but aging adults, numero uno, range of motion, but strength. You need to gain the muscle your body needs and then keep that as long as humanly possible. Keep your protein up, keep resistance training up. The biggest thing that's missing in aging adults is we're losing muscle and we don't even know it. So people go, I'm gaining all this fat. I'm doing the workout I did at 20. It's not working. I guarantee you, if you got in one of those bod pods and looked, you lost muscle and you gained fat. Your metabolism is now wrecked. You've got to get your muscle back and burn fat. You do not need to be scared of gaining muscle. It is absolutely the thing that needs to happen. Trust me, somebody who's done this for thousands of people. You have got to build muscle. So that's the most important thing for aging adults. I'm going to avoid the healthy checklist because I'm not sure I have a great list here. I need to find that old post and post that somewhere else, or maybe I'll do a separate talk on it. I'm just feeling like I got to wrap this thing up, not make it any longer. But there is a healthy aging checklist I'll find that I did a while ago. I thought it was really complete, and I don't think I could do it better. So I'm going to find that. I'll post that in this post and see how many things you can accomplish. And if you can't accomplish them all, then say which ones you're going to work on because that's the piece. It's always moving up, progressive resistance, right. Everything is like slowly moving up the ladder, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to make you better and better and better every month and every year. I have had clients join me in their 60s, and actually literally have clients who would join me in their 60s who are healthier, stronger than 10 years later. 10 years later, and they're aging. Makes your mind go boom. But that's the reality. If you walk in and you aren't in the best shape you could be in right now and you're below where you want to be, with good, smart work, we can absolutely make you feel and move younger than you did 10 years ago. It's crazy town. Just takes the right resistance, the right moves, the right trainer, the right knowledge. So I hope that was helpful and inspiring. If you guys have any questions, now is when I'm going to take them. I'm going to give it like a couple more minutes here. And if people have anything that they feel like I missed or you need clarifying, there's a lot of people showed up for this. That's awesome. Very happy. All clients right now. Thank you. Awesome. Good to hear it, Dawn. Thanks so much. Yeah, and if anything for clients, it's sort of giving you the what's and the whys of what we're doing in class. Hopefully, when you hear what I'm saying, you're like, oh, now I understand why we're doing rack march, or now I understand why you're always pushing weights on me, or now what you understand why I'm such a stickler for get your squats deep and then get them stronger, and why we don't just go heavy and do half squats, right? There's a method to everything we're doing in class because it's always trying to fill the holes and keep moving and cajoling and moving you forward so that is there's constant steady growth. And that takes some real concentrated training and some real smart planning on my because also what I'm balancing as a trainer is I'm also trying to make sure that you guys are enjoying it. So a lot of time, yeah, swings are definitely cardio. There's no question. Swings are cool because it's one of the rare moves that's truly explosive strength and cardio at the same time. And there's so much value. I didn't talk about anaerobic conditioning, but there's a lot of belief that anaerobic conditioning is sort of like a way to unlock usefulness. Because think about what we don't do when we get older. We don't move quickly, right? So when we were little, we probably all of us sprinted and biked our fastest at many points of our youth, right? I remember biking around Towson, playing dodgeball, playing kick the can at night in the dark, like doing all these things, sprinting to my friend Reed and Billy, like sprint every time I go to their house. I don't know why it was like a couple hundred yards away. I would sprint to their house. You get to 40, 50, 60, stop moving fast. Everything's slow. Kettlebell swings brings that explosive strength back in a very controlled movement. It's such a great movement for vitality and for youthfulness. So, yeah, so hopefully you guys are sort of getting the a lot of the what's and the whys of what we're doing in class. Very helpful those whys, especially take to heart the part about doing the things I don't want to do. Yes, Carol, and that's a big piece. I think all of us have this resistance to doing the thing we don't feel safe with, and sometimes that's just you're not ready for it, and sometimes it's you are ready for it and you just need a trainer to say do it. And that's why I push when I push. I usually when I push a client it's because I see they're capable of more, and and I'm not there to say, hey, I'm sorry, you don't like upper body, so let's just keep it weak. No, we're there to go, hey, you're pressing 12 but swinging 44. That's a gap. That's a problem. We gotta get those two things close to close. Swinging a 44 is strong. Pressing 12s is not strong. We got to fix upper body. Like that's my job is to go, whoops, imbalance. Let's fix that. Um, so yeah, I'm always in class seeing the gaps of where people need to move up and things and trying to push them, learning new moves, challenging new moves, and yeah, this and that. So, does anybody have any questions other than just thanks and observations, which is great too. I appreciate that. I'm so congested right now. Don't know why yours are showing. I can't like your comments here. Cool. Thank you guys. Yeah, no, thank you. You guys have been great to have on this talk because you guys have been really engaged. No questions have come up for you guys, things that you're wondering if you need to add into your life. I think the biggest thing outside of kettlebells is get on that uneven terrain. And if you need to just start doing walks first, that's fine. Go hit a paved park. Like in this county alone, you've got Centennial, you've got what's the one around the Sushi Seno area? What's that called? Kitty McQuendy. You've got out here by me where I live. You've got Western Regional. I hike. I did it today. I hiked for an hour. Hiked Western Regional. But then when you've gotten used to walking, one of the goals I have for aging adults 3 miles an hour walking pace on fairly flat surfaces. I think if you can walk 3 miles an hour on a road or a paved path, that is an exceptional ability. That is a very solid ability. So go clock out 3 miles and see if you can get it done in an hour. And if you can't, work on it. Do it 2, 3 times a week. We're getting into walking weather. Okay. But if you are already doing kettlebells 3 times a week, you don't need to add more strength or core or cardio. You don't. Walking, walking, walking. And then when you feel more confident, get on some uneven surfaces and try it. Right? Get those poles if you need them for stability. It's nothing wrong with them. I hike with hiking poles all the time. But get on that uneven stability and put what you're working on in the gym to use, and it will pay off in terms of confidence. Okay. All right, folks, I'm going to sign off for now. I really enjoyed having everybody on. I hope if if you catch this after the fact that you watch it. Um, is it better to swing heavier and do less swings or swing lighter and swing more? Yes, both is the answer. Different strokes for different times, right? So some workouts lend themselves to lighter bells, faster movement. So like VO2 max workout at the end of our class, that would be lighter weight, moved quicker with short rest periods. Early in a workout where maybe we're doing swings, goblet squats, and floor press, heavier, shorter reps, more explosive, heavier bells. I just got white stuff all over me. Right? So part of it is what part of the workout is it in and what is the set like? If we're doing early, untimed workouts, that's probably better, heavier bells, working on our explosiveness. Later on, as we're tired or in tougher timed sets, lighter bells moved a little faster. That's the right answer. But for you, Tish, just getting back into the consistency, which is great to see you here. Um, I would focus on just getting, because you've had a history of this, getting through the consistency with a nice, easy, you're confident you can swing this bell, and always being aware of, I'm getting tight, I'm getting stiff, and stopping then and sticking to calisthenics after that. For you, it's getting you through 6, 8, 12 weeks of success before we think about moving you up in weight. That's where I would start with you, just because you've had a history of you're on the stiffer side and you've had a little back stuff. So we want to work on patterning the movement with a very handleable, manageable weight before we increase the weight, because I think that'll be safer for you. But in general, what I said, early in the workout, heavier, later in the workout, lighter, timed sets that are really grueling, lighter, right? More on your own pace stuff, heavier. Those are good rules of thumb, I would say. Cool. Any other questions? That's good. I just have a question. Man, it's gorgeous outside. I can't wait to go enjoy it for another couple out. Well, what do we have left in daylight? It's almost 6 o'clock. A little bit of daylight left. Um, yeah, anybody else have anything? How do you know when pain means you should? This is a great question. I can already tell you. How do you know when pain means you should not do something? I have a shoulder that hurts sometimes that will feel better after I work out. I have an arm that progressively hurts more as the workout goes on. There, when I said I'm really against stopping because of pain, I do want to say to people, I am a big believer in I know where my knowledge and license stops and it's out of scope of practice. And so there's times where people's pain comes up in class and I go, this is beyond me. It's time to go see a PT, a chiropractor, a doctor. Um, because sometimes, and Carol, we'd probably need to talk as the answer. I'm not sure I can answer it just from that question, but one of the things is not all pain is made equal. So if you had pain that was in the center of your spine and it radiated down your butt, but it definitely started from the middle of your spine, that's a ooh, hit the yellow light, pump the brakes, pull back, let's talk. Let's probably refer out and go check a doctor, a PT, a chiropractor. If you have one thing I'm dealing with right now, man, I haven't had it in years. Elbow pain right here. Okay. I I think I know what I did. I overdid farmer's carries one week and it just won't stop aching. Here's the deal. Elbow pain is annoying. Elbow pain is nagging. Elbow pain irritates me in the sleep. It'll go away and I'm not going to hurt myself. I'm not going to lift tomorrow and rip my elbow. It just doesn't happen. So not all pain is made the same. If you have deep pain in a shoulder joint and it might be a rotator cuff, it's time to pull back big time in class. Pay attention to the moves that hurt you. Talk to me. Um, Develop a very safe protocol for the shoulder movements, probably with lighter weights and slower moving stuff, and also have somebody look at it. Um, Sometimes stuff is just a when my body's tired, this happens. So maybe for some people, it's when my body's tired, my knee aches. Not hurts, not stabbing pain, not ooh, my joint feels unstable. No, like aches. Well, that's probably the body's going to have some signs of hey, yellow light. This is a warning. Your body's giving you a warning. It might be time to pull back. Pull back. Pull back. That's the reality. We might talk a game about pushing hard in class, but there's always what always supersedes pushing hard in class is listen to your body. And if your body's saying, hey, this is too much, talk to me and we pull back, right? I say it 1,000 times in class, that light, medium, and heavy workout that's so hard with swings at the end. I'll go, folks, if your back gets tired, if your core gets tired and you know you're starting to get tired and form's faltering and your body starts talking to you, which it'll talk to you by saying, I'm tired right now or tight, pull back and do some jumping jacks, some toe taps, get on the bike, do ropes, do something that isn't using that area of the body and modify. So the answer is not all pain is made equal. You've got to have conversations with me anytime something's arising so we can talk about it and I can ask more questions. And then the answer might be let's modify or let's refer out and have somebody look at you to make sure it's not something worse. Because that's absolutely, I mean, believe me, there's cases where people do need to be referred out and have somebody just take a look at it. Sometimes it's an X-ray, an MRI. Sometimes it's just getting a little therapy, and that's just the reality. I mean, I've dealt with in the past 5 years. I had some neck stuff I had to get worked on by a PT 4 or 5 times. Haven't had a problem since then. I've had some old, and these are all old things from my teens when I injured myself wrestling and stuff. Um, I've got a little thing on the right side of my hip that's just like muscles are a little tighter than they should be. So I've got a little imbalance working out. It's not stopping any workouts, but it's showing itself. I've been back to seeing chiropractor now for a couple sessions just to like get it evened out and pulling back on some things. So it's just knowing how to surf through that and knowing is this a dangerous pain, a really safe, no big deal pain, a warning that we're tired, and that's probably got to be discussed with a good trainer more than just I can't give you a perfect rule of thumb. But that's a good question, and please bring that up to me in person the next time you see me, and we'll work on like a strategy. And if any of it is like concerning to me, I will tell you, let's go see so and so. So I have a couple great PTs and chiropractor friends who I really trust to give good advice. I tend to refer out to people who I know if Kelly Sykes or Dr. Todd or Gabby say, you need X amount of time off, I trust that they are actually saying it from a place of therapy, not from just having a dumb rule in their head that pain means stop, and that's so I tend to like to trust therapists who I trust their mentality. So, okay, I'm about to lose my voice. I can hear it. I'm getting gravelly, so I think I'm gonna. It's been almost an hour, guys. It's been great. Dr. Todd is awesome, Don. Thank you so much for connecting with me. He is. I have met him a couple times now, really just as a colleague to talk about being useful to each other's clientele, and um, he like immediately jumped in and started working on me, which I just really respect that he's that passionate about what he does that he's just like, oh, let me do this, let me do that, oh yeah, and like figuring stuff out for me, which is great because as a trainer, as somebody who loves working out, there's no end to having to take care of the body. I mean, that's just the reality. We're gonna ride these machines out as long as we live, and I hope that's well into late life. So, and Kelly Sykes is a badass. He is runs Touchstone Physical Therapy in Columbia, so he's phenomenal. Dr. Todd in Dabbs Clinic, that's a chiropractor right off Snowden. He's phenomenal. Some great practitioners who I have worked with directly and would absolutely endorse as people I would trust to work on you if you have stuff. So that is it, folks. If you have any other questions, you can type below. I can either answer them by written word or maybe I'll do another talk if it's a bigger subject. Would love to do more talks. Um, Man, I just say I save these Tuesdays for myself. I for a while I was having to work and I was getting really grumpy. And Tuesday is my day where I stay home and I do, there's my kids. I stay home and I do some workouts and I go for a walk and then I like write blogs and all of these creative juices flow from me and it's just like such an important day because the other days I'm either treating clients or teaching class and I'm at the office and I'm sort of going and going and going and doing busy work. But on this day, I love this kind of day off for me as an entrepreneur to think creatively because it helps me come up with good stuff that will serve you guys. So I'm glad that you all hopped on this and yeah, thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Enjoy the sun. Bye.